Albina, yeah.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hi, guys.
Hi guys. How are you today?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm good too. Do you have some lunch for today?
Yes. You did?
No.
No?
Yeah, we
What
just
did you
prepared for the presentation.
What did you eat?
We eat nothing.
Oh.
No, we're just not sleeping, not eating. Just coming. Or you are just not. Yeah. This. I should like this one. So today's our topic is sex education. So let's start with the first question. Who wants to read?
the first question?
Yeah, okay. Scope of the curriculum. What topics should be included in the comprehensive sex education curriculum in Korea schools, and at what age should be introduced? There's an interesting question.
I don't know how it in Korea, but I think the proper age for sex education is like starting from 11, 12.
I think so too.
Yeah, when their body changes and that they
Starts.
became more mature than before. So yeah.
As I discussed before in my presentation, that Netherlands start their sex education at a young age, from 4 years. Yeah, I think in our country it's good to talk about sex education maybe in middle school, for example, in 5th grade. Yeah, like in 10 years, I think so. Like starting from not.
That process of this.
Yeah. It's
Just-
not only like contraception on something like this, but about like the permission, as a professor said, how? Oh my God, sorry, I forgot those. I mean, permission, body, boundaries, and something like this. Emotion, feelings, and then step by step, grade by grade, to continue this topic.
I agree with you, yeah, with all of them. I think, yeah, but for the Netherlands that they are started for the fourth age, I think is, oh my God, already too early. But I think the parents are just only informed that there are, for example, our we have some kind of zones which are not kind of only for yourself. For example, like this kind of body changes, like that no stranger cannot touch you for this kind of things. And the parents, I think, in the first age just do only just kind of information. Yeah, but I think for the early age, for the 10, 11, I think it's good for the starting knowledge about sex education. And I think it must include for example, problems. What kind of problems they have they must know, and the information, the body changes, how it know, the emotions, of course, and yeah.
So of course I want to add you that you said like explaining for 4th-age children like the simple things. Yeah, about touching their body and body parts, and at that age, children, kids, I mean, they mostly asking the question like about how people can born, how is it work, like something like this, how a baby is come from, and someone says that from cabbage, maybe the bird brings, and something like this. I think they should provide them a clear answer, but with how tidy, like with like in smoothly. Yeah.
Yeah, because there are the child, they don't understand how it is work already. If you are just started, for them, they already do not understand. For this, they have so many from how the kids are born. For example, cabbage, forms, and etc. But of course, the telling the truth is the best way, of course. But they are too young for this age. I think for this, the 11, 12 year is good for inform them truly and they more informative.
Sorry, I want to add that in bookstore I saw the book, yeah, for kids, and they in this book they explain how women can be pregnant, but yeah, of course in simple way, like not deeply and explanation, like, but they explain it that men and women they love and blah blah blah, like love each other, and then you will born and something like this. The simple thing that explain them how people come up, born to this life, yeah, to this world.
So yes, I agree with you that we should to know about sex education in early age, and I think at first children should know from the parents, and then sex education should be also included in school, because it's very important, and we should explain them that it's not shame, it's important than you think, and what kind of problems can be, and when it should be like that. And I think in our country it's not important topic, because a lot of people know it about from the internet and maybe from the friends, and we not talk about with parents, and me too, but in the future I want to explain my children about it, and I want in school it should be included, and I'm as a future teacher also want to explain it for my students. I think we should start from us.
New
To
generation.
explain this topic.
So the second question, cultural sensitivity. How can sex education be delivered in a way that is culturally sensitive and that respects Korean values, while still providing accurate and comprehensive information? So I think we could not talk about the Korean values here. We should talk about our values, Kazakh values. So I think for the accurate way, it will be starting from the young age, just explaining the differences of body, women and the men. Like there's differences in your body, like you're not the same with that boy. Explaining that first, and then when they become taller, when their body change, also explain that it's their body, no one can touch it, that areas of your body parts. And then when they become more like mature, when the age of 15 and 16, we should explain about the sex itself. And that of course, because of our religion and the mentality, we cannot have sex until marriage. So I think we should like explain that it's not that good to have sex before the marriage, but not that like very strict as before in ancient times. It's for all the protection of the child. Maybe several of them can be curious about the sex and like do it incorrectly or force someone to do it. So we have to prevent that by doing it smoothly, understanding, delivering it by time.
Yeah, I agree with you. And for this, I want to add that in the in nowadays there are so many families which are under modern parents which started to inform their children about sex education. Yeah, because our generation we have so many problems with this, because we have some men and like of course they have some women, but already there are so lot of men who are already do this kind of things which are not legally not legal for our rules, of course. And is it, for this kind of problem they are starting to inform on this. But for already to before for this, we have no kind of people which is can do that. For the nowadays, they have so many men who are doing it with the little children, and for the women who are just already not married and etc. And I think if we are started it before, it not will be so many problems for nowadays, I think. So and for this, yeah, how Aru said that I think we must add in the schools in our country the sex education, but the teachers are already must be trained about this one, because children are not which are not trained about sex education are just simply the not just simple things, not only the how which is going on, the whole information. And for this, I think that we must make some kind of sessions about about the sex education for the teachers. And I think if it will be working, our global problem issues about sex education are low, in our country.
Yeah, I agree both of you, because and I want to add that there is a problem in our education system that without providing sex education. For example, I forgot the word. Sorry. This I can't choose. Oh, it ends with anatomy. Like as you said, it's like you said that children. We should provide them the difference between human and I mean men and women bodies. But yeah, we in school we have the subject biology, and which like they're like the subtopic about anatomy, anatomy, and that's all. Like it's in just biological way that the difference between men and women bodies, and that's it. Like lack of information, lack of the how can I say the process? Like it's not sex education is not just about a process or sex itself. It's about, like as I said before in presentation, it's about boundaries, like it's about emotion, feelings, permission, and maybe pressure. Like for example, because of lack of knowledge, there can appear or arise problem, such kind of like violence, violence or abuse or sexual abuse, I mean, or something like physical, I mean, maybe attack, physical violence, something like this. And some people, because of they don't know about sex education before, didn't know, they start to embrace it as it truth, like it should be like this, or it's not the wrong thing, like and what we should do, like as you said, I agree that we should provide it, we should improve our education system in sex education. Like I mean, maybe there should be like another course, not only in biology and subtopics, only one unit or one topic that include just the difference of bodies, but the another subject for example, they can delete the subject самопознание,
just
self-knowledge. Yeah, we had this subject in school, and I think it cancelled. But I think instead of this subject, they they should or ought to add sex education. Yeah, because it's more beneficial, and
Yes, I agree that we don't have lack of knowledge about sex education at school, but I don't think it should be subject. It should be like a lecture about it, and maybe sometimes teachers can show with presentation and then do discussion with system with students, and maybe between students should be discussion about them. But I don't think it should be like subject because maybe we should know we can new information, but we don't need to do like another thing. Like we should just know it.
But there's a question like it's a lecture for once or for twice,
Yeah,
like
twice.
because there's a lot of like there are a lot of things that include
Yes.
sex education, and as like it should be as a course, not
Yeah,
only
yeah.
just a one lecture or two.
You can do this type of lecture like maybe one or two time in a month, like every month, but not like subject to it every week.
But I think that if it will be the lecture, the students are not listening because the students are just generated like it's the subject, we must to learn it because it's just a subject. If the subject score will low, they start to learn about this. For example, mathematics. Yeah? If you're not learn the mathematics, you have the bad score. For example, if it's just the lecture which have no scores, they are not listening and they have no knowledge. And if the sex education will be the subject, like it's for example for once a week, yeah, and the students are think that it's just the scored subject and we must to learn and let's say have already maybe have some midterms like exams, tests for the knowing that the students already know about the sex education. And for this I think that it's not kind of like bad that it will be the subject for this because nowadays students are not disciplinarian. They are already so not just lazy. They are already in the subject tablets, and I think if it will be the lecture, they are not listening.
Yeah, I agree with you because in school years there like once a year at least there were sessions like lectures that called like girls or boys like itself like how separately. And for example in girls, as I am girl I was invited to like girl session, and there were a topic about sex education, like about it's one lecture like just session to remind us that that sex before marriage is not allowed like this, or you can be pregnant or that for example when I heard this I comprehend that like I made conclusion that from their speech, and like girls should be more responsible for it. Like they should take responsibility for them to not allow boys to touch them or something like this. Like all of the responsibilities for girls, but boys like they can do they can just chill and so you should think about it. You must turn on your brain like something like this, not be into in relationship completely like by physical touch and how to say in deeper way. I mean,
for this in the biology, for example, the students are not already learn what body changes or example body parts. The men's already did not know about the menstruation of the girls. It's the main problem. They are know about this one. However, just talk about the sex education. You are just not know how work our woman's body, because already it's not only for men's process. It's already the growth of two partners. Like two people are just doing this active, and each person must know body process of the man. For example, women must know about the men already must know the women. For this, the women have already a lot of process. Yeah, we have the menstruation, ovulation, etc. And the men already must know about this. But now they're now just not knowing about this. I'm so angry for this because it's just simple thing, you know. If you're in relationships, for example, your girlfriend say, I have the menstruation, please can you buy from a pet? And the boyfriend said, oh no, I'm so ashamed of this. It's just the most terrible thing, I think.
I wanted to add it, like
Yeah.
they ashamed to buy pets like in the store,
Oh my
and
goodness,
even they don't know how to use it, like how we use it,
Yeah.
and how it works.
Did you watch like surveys on the street, like asking the men, like, would you date with a girl who has a menstruation?
Oh my
and then
God.
they're saying, no,
No.
that's disgusting. And that they don't know the body differences between women and men. That's why we have like a lot of problems with this area.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think because of our mentality, religion, we cannot solve this problem like for a short time. We have to work on it very long time.
Yeah.
Even now, we even discussing like it's openly in our family with our other friends. We cannot discuss it openly because it's like they our nation used to think that it's shame. It's
I think that
very
our
shame
our
to
country all
Yeah.
think that all like this kind of things are shame.
and
Oh
then
my
we,
God, yeah.
like, we have never talked with
Yeah.
this kind of things with our parents, with our friends too. So even we're talking about with our friends, we get shamed because of nothing.
Nothing, yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah.
Okay, third
Next
question.
Parental involvement. What role should parents play in their children's sex education, and how can schools effectively collaborate with parents on this issue?
I think parents should have work on it first, like because the family is the most close, so they have to start it first, explaining, as I said, step by step differences. Then when the body changes, then for the girls like you will have menstruation, you will have the body changes like this, and for the boys also. I think the more respectful one have to be like boys, not the girls, because their girls already have the differences and then they're suffering like monthly. So I think it's not a shame. So the parents should work on it first, and then of course the school have to collaborate with parents and they do the sessions like you said, and maybe some courses. Yes. And I think at school, like as you know, when we are studying at school, the boys opened the biology book, where's like the picture of the bodies, like woman body, men's body, they're making fun of that. I think we have to prevent that and explain it like very trained teachers. Have to explain it smoothly, not making fun of and avoiding misunderstanding of that.
Yeah, that's true.
Even I remember that, like boys, especially, like mostly they, when they see that one girl have a period, like the пятна, господи. Okay, the things that happen in how like
Let's talk for the next one.
okay. Spot. Okay, spot. Sorry. So when they see spot in
Blood.
In blood spot,
okay.
in pants, yeah, they just start to laugh, and like instead of helping girl go to toilet and buy again the pants in the store,
Oh my God, yeah, there are so many already I don't think that I don't want to say, I don't judge the men, but I don't think that there have no women's girls are which are not looking for this kind of things, but it's there are mostly the men who are doing like this. For example, for this kind of problem, which you take the spots in the pants, yeah, bad spots when they are laughing, the girls have some trauma.
Yeah.
It's this trauma already for the whole life. It's in the kids when they're young. For example, 15, yeah, when 13 when the menstruation has started. Oh my goodness! I think and for this the girl are starting go for the psychology and the work with their trauma, and but the men are always just laughing. For this, I think we mostly can to promote this, sex education in our country already. Yeah.
So yeah. So what our question was like parents about
Mhm.
parents.
Yes.
Parents' role.
Yeah. For
influence.
this, the parents should must to inform their boys. Yeah, boy, first of mother and the father must inform that the girls have the menstruation, and if you receive the kind of bad spot, please help for them. Be kind, not laughing, just not judge for them because it's just naturally, it's our body, and we are already not wanted, but it's just a process which already has all month. Yeah, and they must to talk with this because some parents said, "Oh, it's just a shame," and they're not to talk with them.
Or I remember that in my childhood, like not like in school years. My mother, I remember, she explained something for my elder brother. Yeah, he asked something about like, I guess it was about sex, like education, and maybe he asked about his friends or something like this. And she was explaining this, and I just heard something, and I asked her like, oh, what is it? Like, I just heard the word, and she like, oh my god, you're too young to hear about it. Yeah, to know about it. And there's like, I think in this way, maybe parents should start to explain, yeah, step by step, what is it, like something like this, to avoid these questions. Because I knew, like, I knew this, I found out these things from internet or yeah, from internet or reading something, research. So
and I want to add that some for this in our country we are not talk with parents, relatives, yeah. And for this, our children started to research it in the internet, and there is some kind of myths, some kind of incorrect information about this kind of things, and the children which they read this kind of incorrect information, they started to think that, oh my god, what is that, or I'm just some kind of things, overthinking about this kind of things, and oh my god, for this to solve this kind of problem, the parents should start to tell them, inform them for the young age, I think.
Yeah, as you said, like they start to research, blah blah blah, and overthink,
Overthink.
and they don't share it with each other, with their peers. Maybe like
maybe somewhere,
yes, someone, but not with their parents, because this information is not proved, and there can be wrong association, maybe opinions or thoughts, and it can be wrong.
And they think that the parents are just screamed for them about why you are just researched or something like this. They are scared about this, I think. And for this, the parents not to scream them, for not be strict about this kind of things. They must understand the children.
Parents' role very important in this point because it can avoid problems, because some girls who doesn't know about menstruation, when it happens with them, they can think that they are dying because they have blood, and they can be scared to ask about from parents, and it can cause big problem. And I think mothers or just parents should explain and say it in early age, maybe like from 7-8 years, because sometimes it can happen very early age. Menstruation can happen.
Individually.
Yeah,
process,
it's
yeah.
individually.
I think for the 8-7 years is
Yeah,
good.
it should show how it happened and what you should to do, and that it will be happen every week, every month, like this, step by step. Should show how to use it, and like that.
Yeah. For the first question, for 4.
Addressing stigma. How can sex education help to reduce the stigma surrounding sexual health and promote open and honest conversation about sexuality?
The word stigma means shame.
Shame?
Maybe it will be very difficult to our country.
Yeah, in our country.
Yeah,
Like right now, yeah.
Right, yeah, I think it will take a lot of long time to avoid the stigma, address the stigma. Even we're like talking about like being close to someone to opposite sex, they're like your parents or your siblings get like angry while you're with him, like holding hands, even it's shame. So, and sex, it will be like a big shame.
Crucial, yeah, big shame.
Maybe it will be reduced by over time, by if we like enter the sex education, starting of course with little one, then getting the deep in that topic. I think it will be okay, but it will take very a lot of time to our country.
Yeah, because of this, our why it's so strongly to remind it nowadays, because our parent generation, its tradition is there are some good bit, there are so many differences. And therefore, I think our generation, it will be must faster to increase to inform the sex education, because of course our parents' generation can start to how just not finished, but just finished, or already on one time our parents' generation are finished, and already nowadays in the future generation, I think will be just starting to talk about
Think
things. Things.
It's changing.
Changing. But of course, it's takes a long time. Very long time.
I forgot my mind. I forgot my thoughts. I kept it. So I was agreeing with you. Sorry, can you mention about what are you? Where are you talking about? Like parents.
About the stigma, like it will take
yeah.
time.
Sorry. Even now, when if I will go to my parents and talk about sex, I think it will be very, very like embarrassing moment in my life. For them and for me. And I think Netherlands, or Europe countries, they made best decision to start sex education from young age, because it's not just as I said before, providing only sex education, but it's also about the language, like trust. They trust. They can share without embarrassing, without stigma, because when as I said, like even when we are talking about it, like among friends or peers, we can talk about it, but maybe with parents or teachers, it's really embarrassing. And so if we learned these things or talked these things from young age, maybe it would be not so embarrassing. Like maybe we were maybe we were free in sharing our opinions and thoughts. Like maybe we would talk about like I don't know. Sex itself maybe, yeah. But now even talking about it, like generally, it's really stigmatizing.
Yes, I agree with you that to decrease this kind of problem we need a lot of time, but now maybe opinions are changing because it's gonna be our generation, like when we will be parents, we will talk about it and maybe this kind of problem will decrease in the future. And I don't have another opinion about it. We can go to the next question.
We can choose, you know,
Yeah.
or we can like ask another question, like how, for example, I want to ask like how you know about sex education. It's from what from who you heard it,
Yeah.
or for example, when I was like 6 or 7 years old, when I was playing outside, I had a conversation with girl. She was like 3 or 4 years older than me, and then she said that if you gonna like holding the hands with boys, you gonna be pregnant. So after that, I never hold like men's hand. Yeah, and then like after like 1 year, I heard something also like if you're gonna sleep in one bed with boys, you're gonna get pregnant. Stereotypes like that, and over time, like it's so.
Oh my god.
More terrible and terrible, you know? Oh my goodness.
I think it started from, like, you know, I think it's not okay, I'll just say it. I think I was 5 years old, if I'm not wrong, but on TV there was a movie or series about prostitute girl. I don't know. My elder brother and sister, they watched it, and just they watched, and you like playing around, like hear like voice, the things that happen. But yeah, in like how can I say, of course I didn't know it deeply, or like how deeply concretely. Exactly. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, thank you. Exactly. But you know, I at that time I knew that something is happened between men and women. But then after time, yeah, I also found out from movies, series, something like this, and but also I didn't know how is it work. Like I knew that men and women, they go to the bed and do something, but I didn't exactly know what happened. Yeah.
What exactly?
Yeah, but then like after time, it was like my teenage, and I read a lot of manga, and mangas, and yeah. So and maybe novels. I read a lot, and I found and knew from these resources.
Also, I saw from the serials and movies when I was child, maybe 7, 8 years, but I didn't know what is it and how it happened. I just saw some moments, and then over time, when I was teenager, I researched it, I read a lot of things and watched videos from YouTube, and now about sex education. but before it I didn't know because I didn't have any information. I even hear from the friends. So I researched it yourself.
I already know it about like same with the mangas in the when I was for the for which it was 13 I think. I was just starting to read some mangas, some like stories, novels, and then from this there is some kind of moments with this, and I already know about them. For before I just know about something, which is now because I already not talked with my parents, of course, the friends. I already have no friend for them, and then was for the 9th grade, when I was 16, 18, then we will reduce it more details. I think for detail, more details, and then like this,
So none of us like heard it about sex education correctly, like from the teacher.
Yeah.
Our
parents,
Kazakh.
that's the result of our mentality.
Even I was afraid to watch on YouTube because I was afraid that my parents will find out. Yeah, I mean the history of research, and I just limited. No, I didn't research on YouTube. I haven't seen it ever before, like not like ever like on YouTube and maybe in some kind of websites. But I just read it about it.
Just
Instead of saying about it when we watching movies, say just close our eyes and say don't watch it.
I don't know why they're doing like this. Just what the main role of this just why they say close your eyes? Why? We just already know about in the future. Why? What happened if we are just know about earlier than for the teenage years? What happens? They're not just only advantages of the knows sex education earlier. Of course, maybe we have some disadvantages because, for example, we the children know about sex education early, and he want to try to make it, for example, to do this kind of activity, but not all if the parents are good at explanation of this, if they are tell them that it's not good for the starting, do it for the 18, for 19, where you get married. I think they must do this, but somewhere I don't know really, but it's so hard for our country because our traditions are so mentality are too strict about this kind of things.
So
Can you watch the time?
We have already 7 minutes.
7?
also I want to add about a movie that you were like confused, like how asking or question like why they did this, like close your eyes, something like that. In my experience, there was like we liked with my parents to watch series like Russian especially, and we just watched together, like hanging out as a family, like this. And when this kind of moment happened, they didn't say like, "Oh my God, close your eyes." We just, because of embarrassing moment, we just, "Oh my God, where's the beautiful lamp, chandelier?" I just searched about like chandelier, like lamp. Okay, oh my God, where's the? Oh my God, beautiful picture. Like they
Ignoring the
what's
sense.
inside.
And my parents were laughing, and there's such embarrassing moments. Oh my God.
I think it's because of our mentality. As you see in the classroom when the professor said about the sex education, like none of the Koreans was embarrassed. I think only 4 of us like sitting and
feeling embarrassed. I don't know how you felt, but I feel so embarrassed
Mm.
that moment. I was like, what are we talking about this one? Like, it's like even shame for us, even we are like think we are educated than our parents. I think it's because our environment, because we used to be shamed and then we are like cannot get rid of it immediately.
But I made a decision that Korean also they didn't they don't discuss about this topic with their parents or with teachers. Only maybe with their peers or friends like this. But maybe they just don't show their embarrassing. Maybe
Maybe, yeah.
because how?
But
Don't you want
Yeah.
to do the icebreaking question?
But for the another countries, for the Asian, not Asian, for the United States, Europeans, Europe are already for good in about this kind of education. Topic. It's very good. They have some kind of problems which we have nowadays.
Yes, because they're free.
Yeah, what do you have for me?
Okay, this last question I think. So
Maybe mental and emotional health. How can the sex education address with the mental and emotional aspects of sexuality, including the body image, self-esteem, and the relationship dynamics?
okay.
The
Which one? Okay.
I think avoiding the pruning the mental health, explaining smoothly, it helps. Like if you don't ever talked about this and you don't ever know about that sex education and your parents didn't talk you, and when you came to school and the teacher says that you're like shocked and like traumatized, like you don't know what to do. I think for avoiding that, the smooth delivering it's good.
Yeah. If the person who not know about the sex education and if something happened with him, and they have some problem with the mental health because they have some traumas, and of course this kind of traumas are really hard to reprint with the parents. They not talk with the parent, with the psychologist. They must to long term to create this kind of problem in their mind, because they must to clean themselves. Clean themselves, and this is are too bad for their not only mental, their already physical health, because it's already connected.
Even about trauma, as you said, like boys or maybe girls can do the things that can be hurting for each other. For example, I don't know, but about girls, like boys, can just do something, like maybe notice something, tell something wrong. I mean, and girls can be traumatized about it. I don't know, but the things that boy can be traumatized by girls, I mean,
How?
like about girls, like words, like I don't know,
Terms.
Like, no, not terms. Like for example, boys can notice that, for example, you had spot on your hand, and a girl can be ashamed with it, be like get trauma, something like that, blah blah blah. But what about boys? Like they is there are there some things that boy can be ashamed with related to sex education? Like
I think
No.
no.
It's because like boys, it's believed that boys are stands upper than women, and then so they have nothing to shame.
I don't conclude.
Your conclusion?
The conclusion.
Mm, sex education can play a crucial role in supporting mental and emotional health by addressing the psychological and social dimension of sexuality, and it can include a lot of sections, like sometimes it can affect to self-esteem of girls, and if this kind of problem can happen, we should have programs that include decision making, self-respect, assertiveness, that can empower students to make choices aligned with their values, and it will help building their self-esteem stronger. And we should normalize emotional experiences. I think so.
Yeah.
So thank you for the
Oh my God,
discussion.
15 minutes.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Goodbye.